I had originally wanted to make this video just because I wanted an excuse to talk about Ms. Martian on my channel. That by talking about her arch nemesis and essentially only villain. That being Sungirl, who first appeared in Teen Titans issue 43 from 2007. But the more I looked into the character, the more interested I was about her. Because we never get a direct origin, but multiple clues and just design choices that seem to imply one for the character. Sungirl aka Deborah Morgna's appearance and name suggest a connection to another character. Sunboy aka Dirk Morgna, long-lasting member of the Legion of Superheroes from the future of the DC Universe. A metahuman with fire manipulation who first appeared all the way back in Action Comics issue 276 from 1961. Sunboy and Sungirl share a costume, a power set, a theme, and a last name, along with even more details that you'll find out later on. But there's never an explicit mention of the actual connection between the two characters. But it's pretty obvious that there is one. Perhaps siblings or cousins? Now, Sungirl's first appearance in Teen Titans issue 43 was a part of Slade Wilson's Titans East team to combat that of the Teen Titans, with most members being selected for the team to face a specific Titan. For Sungirl, it was Ms. Martian. Also, if you're interested in more members of the Titans East team, we also have a video on Enigma, who claimed to be Riddler's daughter. Sungirl is a master manipulator, and for that is respected by Slade Wilson, being admired for reminding him of his daughter Rose, back when she was on his side, and Tara. Sungirl will be a villain in this arc from issues 43 to 46, where whenever the East team would come into contact with the Teen Titans, Sungirl would be put against Ms. Martian, due to her powers being M'Gonn's weakness, that being fire. Sungirl's direct origin is never explained, but she does say she's from the 30th century with her boyfriend Inertia, Thaddeus Thawne. Thaddeus, or Thad Thawne, is a clone of Bart Allen from the future, a part of the Thawne family. By the way, that line took so long to take. Saying Thaddeus, Thad, Thawne, the, and Thawne, all in one sentence is apparently too much for me. The two are in the past primarily following Thad's agenda against Bart Allen, but she shows to have her own ties to Ms. Martian, knowing her well in the future, as one day, due to Martians essentially being immortal, Sungirl and Thad would apparently enslave M'Gonn. However, I say apparently because this is only Sungirl's word, and we know that she's a master manipulator and liar, therefore she very much could be lying here to get to M'Gonn. Sungirl doesn't actually get to do all that much, but she's shown to be a very brutal character and deserving her Deathstroke's respect. Her powers are used in a really cool artsy way that reminds me of the Firebenders on Avatar. In the finale of the arc, in a big battle on a rock hill near a lake, Sungirl would face Ms. Martian again, where M'Gonn would splash water into her during her Flame-On form to take her out. We know very little about Sungirl, but from what we do know or what's hinted at seems rather interesting. It also gives Ms. Martian an arch nemesis who is a time traveler. That alone sounds really cool, and the character just in general is really cool. She's a very brutal character, and for a female villain that's really interesting, something that is often missing in DC Comics because for whatever reason most female villains get redemption. Sungirl, however, is bad to the bone and is extremely cruel, which I think makes her kinda stand out. Sungirl would return as a part of Superboy Prime's Legion of Doom from issues 98 to 100 from 2011, where the character does return with Thad Thawne, but now seems to have a flirty vibe with Superboy Prime. Sungirl's role is very small, with her biggest contribution being in a fight with Solstice, between fire and light, but it doesn't go well and she's defeated. The plot moves forward with Superboy Prime afterwards, just ignoring whatever happened to Sungirl or the other members of the Legion. Flashpoint would happen soon after this story, and Sungirl was never seen again in the main continuity. However, she did appear in Teen Titans from 2008 to 2012, where she was once again a member of the East team. This comic is aimed for younger audiences, therefore obviously there's no Ms. Martian being enslaved plotline. Nor is really anything, instead she's mainly just a nuisance here. Which isn't a complaint, because I don't think anything Sungirl did in either of those arcs would work in a kid's comic. Which, by the way, is a very good kid's comic. Sungirl as a character I think has potential just off the hints we were given from her as a character. She's likely the cousin or sister to Sunboy, which could be an interesting story. I also think that she just genuinely hates Ms. Martian and didn't enslave her, which also could be an interesting story. There are many avenues you could take the character, none of which have been done, which I think kind of makes her a bit of a waste. The character is in a very interesting position where, as a character, she definitely has potential, but none of it has been really tapped into. But it's definitely there. Just simply the idea of Ms. Martian having an arch nemesis who is a time traveler alone, I think, could give you a lot of good stories. The character overall I just think has a lot of potential, and I would love to see the character return. Although I say that, I don't think she will, unfortunately. But who knows? You never know. Characters you don't even think would return actually end up returning all the time, so maybe Sungirl will one day. And that's it. Like always, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!